Hey, it's Aaron. Today I'm with the 2022 Nissan Frontier. So this is the all-new Nissan Frontier, completely redone. There are a few things carrying over from the last generation. Most notably, it's still a truck. Nissan didn't do anything to make this less rough and tumble or less capable than it was before. And the interior is still very much a truck. They didn't go all crossover and you know, bland with it. So nicely done there, but there are a bunch of improvements. So if you remember from my review of the Frontier last year, the I believe it's 2021 model, the engine changed. Now it's a 3.8 liter V6, puts out about 310 horsepower and a 9-speed automatic transmission, a big jump from the 6-speed that was there before. That same thing is in this truck. So that debuted last year as a precursor to the full redesign of the truck for 2022. So you can see a lot of differences. It's a little beefier looking. In overall size and girth, it's not actually a whole lot larger than the previous one, but it looks bigger. You have more square up here. You can see it's flat. It's got the Nissan grille, which you'll see on other Nissan trucks and SUVs. It's got the new Nissan logo on it. It says Frontier here and across the back tailgate, because that's a thing now. You can see the big tires over there. They're accentuated by these wheel well covers. So if I come around here, I'll show you that. You can see these are just thicker and heavier looking. You can see the headlights are very different than they were before. They're much larger, more akin to a full-size truck at this point. So just again, all of that kind of comes together on the front end here to make a little more aggression. Just makes it look more beefy. We'll come around to the side and I'll show you kind of a side view and give you a perspective on the size with me with it though. You can see with me standing here, it's still relatively short. It's still a mid-sized truck. It's still a small truck. And as far as I can tell, it is still the smallest mid-sized truck on the market. So it's still smaller than the Tacoma, at least in my estimation. I haven't sat down with a tape measure and tried it, but I'm pretty sure it is. So let's check out the side view, and then we'll look at the working end, and we'll get inside it a little bit and totally go over the 2022 Frontier. So from the side view, you can see more of what I was talking about as far as the wheel wells go. This is the Pro 4X package, so it has the extra off-road stuff, the improved shock absorbers, and knobbier tires, and some underplate protection and so on. You can see this is also the crew cab, so it is the full 4-door version with the short box. So just looking at it here, you can see it's a pretty balanced design. It's very, like I said, very much like it was before. So when I walk into the picture, this is what you're seeing. I am 6'3", couple 150 pounds maybe, and yeah, I don't weigh myself. I'm a dude. Anyway, so you can see how short it is overall, and the size here. So just, you know, put me on it. Now you can see a few changes. This dip in the door, this is pretty much directly from the Titan. So if you look at the Titan's door shape, it's very, very similar to this. Has that dip right there to improve your visibility to the side and allow them to make the mirrors slightly larger. These are a little bit bigger. I believe they're the same size they were last year, but they're more refined. They're a little longer and not quite as tall. They give you a really good view though. I like the way they're set up. And then you can see the bodywork. So there's a big crease right here that bumps out and creates this right here. So that makes a light shelf along here. So you can see how it's lighter here than down here. And it just kind of flows along. So the fender line, this is an important line on this truck. So you can see the fender is not as beefy as you would expect because the hood comes clear out here. It's kind of a clamshell look, not quite a clamshell, but close. It comes down to here, and then just this right here, a hand width, is the fender. But that line runs right to here and then just sort of fades into there. Most of the fender action, as far as beefiness, is back there. So if you look at the back of the truck, then you can see the fender line starts right here at the beginning of the bed, and it just runs along slightly upwards and creates this bulge. So this, again, is a little more than a hand width. It's just about what it was back there, but it's sharper, so that creates a bigger bulge on the look. Really, really good looking. And then you can see how the wheels, and then the almost a trapezoid on the back, but not on the front, for these wheel wells. Again, that creates that forward movement. It makes everything pushing back, forward movement. Over here, you got a short bed. I want to point that out. I can easily touch the bottom, and I think someone shorter than me that's below 6 feet could still do the same. Really nice. That's one of the hallmarks and one of the reasons to get a smaller truck. It's because you can access the bed from all angles without any special steps or setups. The rear taillights here are almost a C shape, but not quite, and they wrap pretty nicely, and they're large. That's a good thing. So anyway, that's kind of the look of the truck. It's a very, very sleek look. You can see the roof is flat. That creates pretty good interior space. The back seat is slightly cramped. I'll get to that when we talk about the interior. Let's go look at the working end. So you can see the back end of the truck here. There haven't been a whole ton of changes, honestly. The back end of the truck is probably where the least amount of change happened. You can see the Frontier stamped into the back of the tailgate underneath that heavy curve. Otherwise, the tailgate, if you really look at it, is very, very similar to what it was before. And that's a kind of a good thing. You know, you need to carry something over. And honestly, the back of the truck it's the working side of the truck. It's not the style side of the truck, right? So this is where the blue collar stuff happens. It's not the white collar end of the truck. But looking at it, it's a very sleek, very good design. You have your backup camera right here. You have a physical lock if you want it. This also locks with the doors when you use the electronic lock. Now, a couple things I want to point out that are suspiciously missing from a couple of the competitors for this. One, damping tailgate. I've complained about that on a couple of trucks, where these smaller trucks, where you open the tailgate and it just goes kapong. That is so 1990. We're way past that now, people. We need to have a damping tailgate. It's just a requirement. These also have a slight spring assist. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Slight spring assist to just make it slightly easier to lift that tailgate back up. Not that it's heavy anyway. So you can see the working end here. The bed goes all the way back there. This has the tie-down rails. These are actually part of the Pro 4X package, I believe. I'll check the paperwork. We'll talk about the Monroney later. These are adjustable, so you can unscrew them here, slide them around, take them out if you need to. They're really, really useful. Some of the best tie-downs I've ever seen. I've seen them in a couple different kinds of trucks. Nissan in particular, but a couple of others, and these are highly useful. Also on this has tie downs right here that you can't really see. I'll try to get a photo and show you. They're a combination of a D-loop and a fisherman's hook. So you have the hooked side where you can wrap a rope around it like that, and then you have the D-hook for clipping things in. This also has bed lighting in it, which I believe is an add-on, so there's LED lights on either side. You also have the light up there, which is, you can turn it on from in the cab, or it turns on when you open and close doors. That is a standard feature on the Frontier. And this bed liner, beautiful, beautiful bed liner with, I will point out, drain plugs. You don't see that every time. Drain plugs are awesome. And yeah, that's about it for the bed. Nice working bed. You have the 3-piece window back there. That's an option in this truck. Highly recommend it. It's not electric. You have to reach back there and do it. But if you think to do it before you take off, that's a great way to vent out the cab and keep from fogging up in the winter and or fall, whatever. Also an awesome way to get the heat out really fast if you don't opt for the sunroof. So there's the working end. Oh yeah, is there a tow hitch on this? There's no tow hitch on this. I'll show you some tow ratings and stuff really quick. Then we'll go around and we'll look at the insides. Okay, so in the cab of the truck here, this is the front driver's seat. It's a really nice layout. I'll show you a couple of photos as we go. The instrument cluster is really easy to read. The Pro 4X package has these red highlights that are pretty cool. There's some red around the Nissan logo. There's a bunch of buttons in here. I'm going to try to do a full interior review, and I'll link that down below. so that you can see where all the buttons and switches are, because again, it's a total overhaul of the truck, so a lot of things changed. For example, your tow mode now is down right over there on the left side of the steering wheel. Same with a bunch of other things that do lots of little things, including off-road, differential lock, that kind of stuff. Just a good interior though. They kept it blocky and truck-like, so it's still very square. And that's a great thing, because this truck needs to feel like the rough and tumble truck it's always been. If they were to change that, they would fundamentally be changing the Frontier. And I'm glad to see that they knew that and they kept it. Very important. Now let's look at the back seat, and then we'll talk about pricing and stuff. Okay, this is a small truck. Even with the crew cab, the back seat is very cramped. I'm kind of stuffed in here. Now I have headroom, but just enough, like a finger width left. So just, you know, that ½ inch. Again, I am 6'3". This seat in front of me is set for me to be sitting in and driving. So my knees are very cramped up against it. I'm having to go widen my legs to go around the seat. The seat's very, very close. This seat is low, so my legs are coming up anyway. So if I were on the other side where the seat is set for somebody shorter, I would have my knees in and I would probably have knee room. But as it is, because that's set for a tall person, another tall person back here is no bueno. But again, this is a small truck. I can't name one in this segment that has a big back seat, so. All right, now let's talk about pricing. I do have to point out this is a prototype, so this is not the final production version of this truck. So while the numbers are probably going to remain the same, some of what you've seen may or may not be exactly how it's shown on the final, and the packaging could change between now and the time that this hits production, which I believe is this month or next. I'm going to assume that you're seeing this video shortly after I make it, so after today. Right now it's the end part of August, and I think this goes into production starting sometime in September. That's 2021 for those not keeping track. So what you're looking at is tactical green metallic. That's the paint. The 2022 Frontier Pro 4X, which is important. So the base price for this truck is $37,240. That's without any add-ons. This has the tech package add-on, which is about $1,000. The Pro conversion package, which is that spray-in bed liner, the Utilitrack system, so that it does not come with Pro 4X anymore. I didn't know that. There's a 120 volt power outlet in the bed and in the center console. Heated outside mirrors and a few other things. That's about $2,000. That's the Pro conversion package. The Pro premium convenience package. Pro convenience package. The Pro premium package adds a few more things at about $2,800, including the wonderful 10-speaker Fender audio that's in this. Holy crap, is that a great stereo. Wow. One of the best stereos I've heard in a pickup truck in quite a while. So that's a good thing. Bunch of other things, console stitching and some other stuff, auto-dimming mirror, blah, blah, blah. That's all in that $2,800 package. The floor mats are an additional $155. I would totally pay for that. $155 for rubber floor mats is a smoking deal, and you definitely need them in a vehicle like this. Then you have a destination fee of about $1,100, bringing the grand total for this to $44,315 delivered. That's actually not a bad price. That's commensurate with roughly what the Frontier Pro 4X has cost in years past, and it's what you will pay for an equivalent Toyota or Chevy or Ford. So pretty good price tag there. I love this color. Such a great color. Green is the new black. Right now, green is a hot color to have. It's on all kinds of vehicles right now, and it usually looks really good if it's the right kind of vehicle. This is the right kind of vehicle for an army green like this. Beauty. And it's glossy army green instead, tactical. They called it tactical. What more do you want? Now, I have a couple things to note about the Frontier in this new iteration. I'll walk back on the camera so you can see my facial expressions, because I know you like looking at me, right? Anyway, Couple of things. Going through the builder for this, which is just launched, so it may be missing some things. There may be a couple of things that should be there that aren't yet. Stuff, you know. So I have to put a, you know, an asterisk and a little bit of disclaimer there. But I went through and tried to build a Frontier 2 or 3 different ways just to see what the pricing was and see what kind of accessories and other things are available. One thing I noted, remember those tubular roof racks, right? Used to have on these. It was the coolest thing ever. It named this as a Frontier. No other truck had it. I can't find those. I am really bummed because I love those things. But you can still get those tubular Pro 4X steps down here, right? So they have the little steps that stick out, and it's a tube that acts kind of as a rock rail down there. And you can still get the really cool roll bar and all of that back here with the tubes and the lights. So because those look exactly like they did on the previous generation Frontier, I very much suspect the roof rack, if it doesn't appear soon, you know, if it's not appearing right away when this first comes out, it will appear very shortly. So lots of other cool little package add-ons, by the way. It's worth the trouble to go and check out that configurator because there's so many little cool things you can put on this truck. Something I didn't point out about the bed back here when I was talking about that is the wheel wells are much less obtrusive in this version than they were in the last one. That makes the bed a lot more useful. Just one of those little, whoa, smart thinking. So, again, there you go. I am really impressed. I really like this truck. I've always liked this truck, and I'm glad that they didn't change the fundamentals of what the Frontier was. So, the new Frontier, 2022 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X package, tactical green paint. Booyah. There's a fly or something. Anyway, you probably heard it. It was that loud. Anyway, wonderful little truck. I'm really glad they did a good job on it. They didn't, you know, they didn't go kind of crossover-y with it or something like that. Really, really nicely done. Beautiful 3.8. The 9-speed transmission is a huge leap forward for this truck. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.